Yes, thank you for having me today. I am an MD and I have been for 40 years. And what I do is natural alternatives. I help people get off pharmaceuticals when it's possible and prudent, and it's not always. But that's what I've been doing, helping people detoxify their body, balance their blood and immune system. And when I first heard about the patching technology, I had never heard the term photobiomodulation. I was familiar with light therapy, which is being used everywhere, all over the world, and in hospitals and by doctors, all different types of uh, light therapy. It's well accepted and well studied, but I'd never heard of that. And my wife really came to me and was excited because friends of ours were getting tremendous success with patches. And she said, I want to start patching. And I was not an early adopter. It sounded crazy to me. I was highly skeptical. And I said, I'm not going to tell people to put a patch on them and they'll be healed. I was born at night, but not last night. It just didn't seem like any science at all. And then she said, there are clinical studies. Well, I agreed to look at those, but not really to verify that this patch worked, but mainly to prove to her that there wasn't any good science behind it. When I did, I found a tremendous number of studies, and they were studies that I was used to looking at from my science background. They were double blind, they were placebo controlled, they were independent, not done by LifeWave, done independently, and some of them done at the #2 master regenerating cell research facility in the world in the University of Ireland. That was impressive. But probably most impressive was many of them were peer reviewed. That means you do your study, you make your conclusion, and then you turn it over to your equally qualified peers and say, is my study valid? So when I read all these, I saw that there was powerful science behind this. And that was very impressive to me. But still, I wanted to know, is it safe? And I was certainly, that was verified because it's non-transdermal. And to me, a patch was, a nicotine patch, an estrogen patch, the chemicals on the patch, it goes in your body and does its job. I was told no chemicals were passing through. Well, then how does it work? It just uses your body, your infrared heat energy, your 98.6, if you will, to activate the patch media. In the center of the patch are organic amino acids and electrolytes in a microcrystalline stereoisomer. Very important, that configuration, because when infrared energy hits that, it forms a very specific wavelength of light that is then shined into the body. So really your body is just your own body heat. Your infrared is the battery, the energy source. It's that specific light wave that going into your body makes the difference and is clinically studied to with the X39 that we're talking about, which is our flagship product. I think everyone should be using it. Increases these master regenerating cells. Most people don't even know you have these cells. This is definitely the greatest breakthrough I've seen in 40 years as an MD in both traditional medicine and in natural alternatives. These master regenerating cells can become anything that your body needs. If you need help in the cardiovascular area, it can become a heart muscle cell. It can become an endothelial cell lining the blood vessel. It can become an immune system cell, a skin cell, a bone cell, a liver cell, whatever you might need help with. And once it becomes that, it stays in that line, that type of cell. But your body always retains a number of what we call undifferentiated master regenerating cells. But what most people don't know is by the time you're 35, the average person has lost about half of that activity. And by the time they're 65, they've lost 90% of this master regenerating activity. And I think it's the #1 reason that people age. So this to me is the reverse aging science of the future. Certainly, I believe it's the preventative medicine of the future. And of course, we don't make medical claims for patches. We don't diagnose or treat sickness and disease. I'm a doctor. There's other doctors on today with us, but we're not your doctor. In fact, I recommend people bring this to your doctor and ask them about it. If they'll look at it with an open mind, they'll find these tremendous studies and a mountain of science behind it. So I became very passionate about it. About 3 years ago, I started using this. I've never done anything that's had this kind of impact on people's health. And I will give the credit to this one patch. The X39 is the standout patch. It is absolutely life-changing. But if you run into people who are skeptical and don't get it, I think that you're in good company. Be patient with them. Uh, just give them the information they need. Send them the resources. The science is there. We've got so many testimonies, before and after pictures, experts, thousands of doctors around the world, like me, MDs, DOs, chiropractors, functional medicine specialists, and naturopaths that are using this very successfully. So I tell people the patches are not on trial. The patches work. What's on trial is you wearing them consistently. But the biggest challenge with patching is to keep people wearing them consistently until they notice something. But that doesn't mean it's not working. By the way, you didn't feel your blood pressure or blood sugar changing, but both of them have, even since you've been listening to me. So just because you don't feel something doesn't mean it's not happening in your body. And we can measure your biological age, and we can have you patch, and we can remeasure that and see the benefits. And some of the studies are just phenomenal that are out there. So the idea is getting people to put this patch on, and to be educating them that it takes 3 to 6 weeks for 80% of people to notice something significant. What I've noticed in probably patching clearly over 1,000 people personally in the last 3 years, I hear most consistently higher energy levels and better sleeping. But less pain and inflammation are also common, clearer, more focused thinking, just a general sense of well-being, certainly improved wound healing, GI improvements, things like that is what I hear most commonly. But it's 3 to 6 weeks for 80% of people. 10% of people are quicker than that. We love that. One patch wonders, one day, 1 week. We've got many testimonies like that, but they're rare. And just like on the other side, 10% will take longer than that, up to a month for every decade of life. So educate people about it. But the important thing is to get this patch on. 12 hours on of activation, take it off and throw it away. There's about enough energy left in it for a dog or cat, and it does work on them. And then 12 hours of rest and restoration so your body doesn't acclimate to it. So you get a full benefit when you put that patch on the next day, 7 days a week. It's that simple. It is definitely effective. Patches aren't on trial. We've got the studies, we've got good science. And the more someone wants to look into that, the more they'll find that it's there. Uh, it is effectable, it is safe, it doesn't interfere because it's non-chemical. It's light therapy, doesn't interfere with pharmaceuticals you might be on, over-the-counter medications, vitamins, minerals, herbs, perfectly safe. So that's a big benefit of it too. And you really don't have to figure out what's going on with the person. It makes my job a lot easier because it's smart technology. It goes and works on the most important area first, then goes to the next one, then to the next one. How does it do all this? Because it's not doing anything new that your body hasn't been doing your whole life. It's just that you aren't doing it as effectively as you were because you've lost 50% by the time you're 35, 90% by the time you're 65. And although it sounds kind of futuristic and paradigm shift, and in a way it is as ancient as life itself because photobiomodulation is light therapy in its simplest form is just the sunlight hitting your skin and making vitamin D. That's photo, light, bio, the body, modulation, changing the body with light. That's what this patch is doing. But the sun's, millions of miles away, and it's the full spectrum, all wavelengths of light, infrared and ultraviolet included. And this is a very specific wavelength of light, and we've got clinically verifiable benefits with it. So if people, no matter, even if they don't have anything going on in their body, they just want to prevent sickness and disease or reverse aging, that's my starting point with people. I've never worked with anything like it. And I'm happy to talk with anyone about it that wants to share. I'm much more passionate now that I've seen what it can do for people's lives. And I love the X39 Master Rejuvenating Cell Enhancing Patch to turn back the hands of time.